From a college student to a business owner at 22, this is my story of choosing passion over paycheck. Picture this. It all started with humble beginnings. The final semester of engineering, everyone in college was lining up for placement and interviews. And I was spending most of my time filming recipe videos for my mother and binging on my favorite YouTubers like Casey Neistat, Peter McKinnon, Matty Apoya, and all the others.
But this was a weird time. COVID was just fading off, colleges were empty, so was my mind related to what I wanted to do in my career. And that's where it all began. You see, it seemed like everyone had their life figured out. Some people were applying for jobs, or some masters or something else. And pretty much all I wanted to do was make my own videos and films. And the closest I had gotten to it was filming home videos and recipe videos for my mother. But the good part was I was at least uploading them on YouTube, so not all bad. So with nothing figured out, I just decided to apply for the job. I mean, the worst that could happen was at least I'd get to know my market value as an engineer, and that's exactly what I did. Just in case you guys are wondering what am I doing at the college at night, I mean, I arrived here in the afternoon to collect my degree, 3 years post my graduation, but apparently the lady who was in charge of that isn't there in the college today. So once I applied for the job, I pretty much forgot about it. 2 weeks went by and an email arrives. The subject, you were hired. But you know what was weird about it? Instead of being happy about it, I pretty much felt nothing. So instead of actually taking that offer seriously, I decided to just go to sleep. I mean, I seriously had no other emotion, and that's what I did. Just when I was about to go to sleep, that's when it struck me. If I could outearn that figure, what was in my offer letter, in the 6 months that was left for me to graduate, I would not join that job. And that's exactly what I did. Compiled up all the best clips I could from filming my mother's recipe videos, put it in a 30-second package, and started DMing every possible restaurant I could find. I still remember the number, 708 DMs. 708th DM was when I received my first yes. When a client actually found my offerings valuable and decided to hire me for a project. You know the happiness that I didn't feel when my first offer letter arrived? The happiness in this scenario was unbeatable. It was legit unbeatable. And just in case you were wondering who that client was, it was a pretty small boutique bakery that a lady used to operate from her own house. This building right here, this was where the kitchen was. So in case you're wondering how much I got paid for the job, it was around 7,000 rupees. But that wasn't the main takeaway from it. Luckily, the client liked my work and she referred me to a guy who was an agency owner and also was looking for someone who could shoot some videos for their new client that was Starbucks. I shot 7 videos for them and pretty much felt like I've made it. I mean, shooting for Starbucks was something I never thought I'd do. So I stuck around with that agency, got thrown a lot of work my way. Everyone was happy and all felt right. But there was a slight problem. So it had been 5 odd months that I was doing freelancing by this time. Shot for around 90 to 95 days, 60 odd brands for multiple agencies. And it felt pretty fast paced. It felt a lot hard because I was either editing or shooting every single day. And it was under someone else's brief. So the creative liberty was very small. And that's when I read this. It said something like, if you want to run fast, run alone. But if you want to go far, go together. That's what I wanted to do. I mean, I wanted to build my own team, lead my own creatives and lead my own briefs where my imagination could come into the picture. And that's when I took the lead. And that's when I decided to build my own content studio where my ideas could come to life and I could assemble a team which would not only help me create what I exactly wanted to create and bring that to life, but to give a narrative to our voice, build something great together, and tell stories that we all wanted to be shared. So we worked out of a cafe till a long time because rent was an issue and the cafe guy was our client, so we just didn't want to spend much. That was till the time we had enough money to almost afford the rent and make it how we wanted it. Pretty small space, but we got everything done from here. We still do. I mean, we still work for a lot of brands. Some brands I'm very proud to work with. I mean, I didn't even realize where 2.5 years flew by. Probably the reason for that is I was doing pretty much what I enjoyed doing. And what about the bet? To be honest, I had crossed that figure mark 3 months into my freelancing journey itself. So taking that job was never an option. It was long forgotten. And you know the funny part? When I actually started going on this journey, I didn't even know this is what I would reach. I had no idea what I was going to do. All I knew was I wanted to do something which actually excited me. Something that made me feel make my own path. And I mean, that pretty much one leap of faith is what brought me here. I mean, it's still humble beginnings. We are still a startup. We still go out of money every other month. And it's everything that a small business in India is. You see, there was still one thing incomplete. The idea of telling my own stories. And that's where the seed had actually started in my head. And that's what I'm here doing today. I mean, it has been a journey. Do I regret anything? Not at all. Would I want you guys to take that leap of faith? 100%. I mean, I shy away from giving advices anyway, being quotes and stuff. Being confused is pretty much the best thing that can happen to you because it forces you to explore a lot of other things that you actually want to do. So that's how I chose passion over paycheck. And I do feel I won.